Alright, what's up everyone? This is NinjaDeathStrike bringing you another Pokemon TCGO battle. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and you got all the stuff you wanted, had a good time. I was going to put up a video last night, but I was lazy and I was playing with my new games instead, so you get it tonight. But this is a video I took a couple of weeks ago. It's been sitting on my computer and I'm ready to get rid of it, so I don't remember exactly how this match went, but I do remember the night that I played this was the most frustrating night I've had on TCGO probably ever. This deck is not amazing. It's decent, but I was just really struggling. I got a lot of bad matchups, and then on top of that, it just seemed like my opponents drew exactly what they needed every game at exactly the time they needed it. I lost a couple of really close games just because I was winning and then they would draw a series of like 3 cards in a row that were exactly what they needed at the time. You know, I had end people down to 2 cards and they'd still get exactly what they needed, so really frustrating. On top of that, I was sick as a dog. So this was not a happy time for my TCGO playing. But anyhow, as you can see here, this deck has 3 things going on. We got some Squirtles, we've got some Buzzles, and then Curums. And the idea is to use Curum to spread some damage and then use Blastoise as both a backup attacker and an energy accelerator. And Blastoise is able to snipe for 100 damage anywhere on your opponent's side of the field. So, you know, once Curum puts down that initial damage, he can basically kill anything in one hit. So that's how it's supposed to work. I don't remember how this match goes, if it does what it's supposed to, but we'll have to watch and see. So as you can see, I get a really good start. I get a collector first turn, and I've got that rare candy, so I've got a chance to get a turn 2 Blastoise, and my opponent leads Lone Cyndaquil. Looks like he's probably playing some kind of Typhlosion variant, and if he doesn't get another basic onto the field quickly, he might have a pretty quick game. So luckily for him, you know, I'm not going to be able to attack turn 2. This deck usually takes at least 3 turns to get attacking. So he's got a little bit of time to get something going. But here, I'm going to go ahead and rare candy into Blastoise, which is great. And now I just need to get some Floatzel going. That'll allow me to attach extra energies. So I play the N here because he used the Engineer's Adjustments before and drew a bunch of cards. I didn't want him to have access to those. So I just figured I'd go ahead and N, bring him back down to 6 cards, and hopefully disrupt him a little bit. And I actually draw into a pretty nice hand, so I'm not going to Eek here. He doesn't have another basic, so I'm just going to go on the offensive. If he doesn't get one this turn, I'll win. But I also have supporters in my hand, so I'm not trapped in that hand. I've got the Professor Oak and the Sage I can use next turn, so there's really no need to Eek here. And now my opponent gets a couple of basics. We see a Rattata come down, a Vulpix, and yeah, another Cyndaquil. So here, I was a little bit afraid that I was actually playing Basic Red, because I think they run all those cards in Basic Red, and that'd be, kind of disappointing. But turns out, thankfully, that is not the case. He does have a real deck. Just runs that Rattata maybe for a little disruption. It does have that attack that lets you discard special energies, so maybe that's why it's in there. But anyhow, he's going to catch her, drag up my Blastoise just to stall for a turn or 2. Which is a pretty good play. And the thing about this deck, though, is that Catcher doesn't affect it as much as it does other decks. Because Blastoise has the Poke Power that lets him move energy around however he wants to. Or not however he wants, but at least to the active. If anything gets Catchered active that doesn't have energy on it, Blastoise can just shift the energy onto that thing and allow it to either attack or retreat. And then Floatzel doesn't have a retreat cost at all, so there's no point to Catcher it out. Catcher's only disruptive if they can kill you that turn. If they can't, it's pretty manageable. So he's going to play down a Collector here. We see 2 Reshiram, so this is a ReshiPhlo variant with just that Rattata or Raticate teched in for whatever reason. So he's going to burn me, which is kind of annoying, especially because he's got the bad Vulpix, but it happens. So, you know, he played down that Reshiram with no energy on it. That looks like a nice juicy target for me. So I guess I go for Cyndaquil. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I guess I had a reasoning at the time, but yeah. I guess I could have potentially attacked if I got like a God Hand, but I don't this time. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and attach that energy to Kyurem. And then P-Calm away my second Kyurem. I have the rescue energy on the first one, so I will be able to get it back. No need to have the second one right now. And what am I going to do? I'm going to grab another Squirtle. Okay, so I guess I'm just willing to give up this Blastoise for dead already. Or I think what I wanted to do was have another Blastoise ready to go, because I really do need Blastoise to move my energies. And so if this one goes down, I need to have another one ready. And you can see I've already flipped 2 tails for burn twice in a row, so that kind of sucks. But it just kind of goes with the theme of this night, which was awful. Just Ninja loses. Everything goes wrong for him. But luckily, I think my luck turns around here in a little bit. So he's going to use Professor Elm, grab a Quilava, and evolve the benched one. So we're both kind of just stuck active right now, trying to set up behind our stuff that's trapped. I flipped my 3rd tails in a row, and now have 60 damage thanks to burn. He hasn't actually attacked me. I just keep flipping tails. And I'm going to go ahead and play that collector, just thin out my deck. And now that I've got 4 energy in play, I can actually start attacking if I wanted to. I can drop that Shaman and move all the energy from Kyurem onto Blastoise. And I believe I go ahead and do that this turn. I do have the rescue energy on Blastoise, so I'll be able to get it back once it dies to burn. And I also... What was I going to say? Also something else. I don't remember. Sorry, it's kind of early in the morning. My brain's not working yet. So that's interesting. I don't attack. I just retreat, cure the burn. That's what I was going to say. I do run a few Fishermen in this deck, so that energy is not entirely wasted. I have the ability to get it back. And now Blastoise is not burned. So Cleffa's up there. She's taking a nap. That's nice. It means he's going to need a catcher if he wants to attack. And he also only has 2 cards and no energy. So not really too threatened here. I've got a couple of turns to get set up at least. But here comes a Typhlosion Prime. And that means that it's going to be able to evolve. He has that Quilava. So now he can start using those energies in his discard pile, attaching them to Reshiram, and he can probably attack within the next turn or 2. Fortunately for me, though, you can see he's only got 1 card in his hand. So other than the Typhlosion, he's basically in top deck mode. That's going to help unless he manages to get a supporter here. So he's going to think about what he wants to do for a long time. Okay, there we go. He decides to attach to Cyndaquil. It's got 20 HP left, so he can attach one more time. Attaches to Cyndaquil, and then retreats. And that's fine. You know, there's no reason to put it on Reshiram this turn. He can just get it back anyhow. So he flips heads again for his burn, but this time, thankfully, well, I don't take burn damage, but I do stay asleep, so I'm not going to be able to attack this turn, and that's a little bit annoying. I wouldn't actually have minded if Cleffa died at this point, but instead it's trapped out there for a turn when I can't do anything, so that's cool. Thinking about which supporter I want to play here, and what I need at this point is a Blastoise and a Rare Candy. So I take the Junk Arm. I don't actually like that play. I could have got another Blastoise this turn had I taken the P-Calm, because I could have P-Calmed away one of those things in my hand and then Rare Candied for Blastoise, but didn't see it at the time, so oh well. I just attach an energy to cure him and pass because I can't attack. So now he's got 2 cards. I don't die again for burn, so that is good at least. You know, if I'm going to die from burn, I want it to be going into my turn instead of going into his. So he plays down a Rocky Helmet, probably a placeholder for Evilite, possibly, and puts it on Reshiram. That'll be a little bit irritating, but it shouldn't be too bad. You know, Kyurem can deal with it just with Outrage, and Blastoise can Oko it, so it's not going to be a real big problem. But that's going to be all he can do. Well, he's going to retreat Vulpix since he got the burn. Now I think he's going to go into Reshiram and start powering Reshiram up for an attack. Oh no, he goes into Rattata as fodder, I guess. So here I finally take burn damage just as I wake up, but that's okay. Losing Cleffa is not that big of a deal now. I do have a free retreater on the bench with Floatzel, so I've got plenty of time to think about what I want to do. I can also go for the Oak or go for the Sage, and I think I'm going to use Sages again. And now that Cleffa's down, I've got room on my bench to get another Floatzel up if I can manage to do that. I decide to Oak instead, which I get some okay stuff. I get some energy, which is nice. That's really priority number 1 right now because I do have all my pieces in place. I just need to start loading that energy on. And oh, that's why I don't get a Buizel. That's right. All my Buizels were prized this match. I run a 3-3 line, and I only had access to 1. So that's why I didn't set up another one earlier. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was cool. So anyhow, now that Blastoise is safely on the bench, I can use his Pokepower to move my damage around. I couldn't do it when he was active because this is one of the older cards, and with the older cards, if you're affected by a special condition, you cannot use your Pokepower. So I had to get him onto the bench first. And now I can finally go for a Glaciate and start spreading some damage. And hey, look at that. There's a Buizel. Alright, so next turn, he can go down onto the bench. And then once I get a Floatzel, I will be good to go. So he's got that Rattata up there. Can't really do anything this turn because if he attaches to that, he can't attach to Reshiram. If he wants to go for a Blue Flare, he's got to attach both of his available energies to Reshiram. So he could evolve and eat my rescue energy if he's got the Raticate in his hand, but looks like he hasn't really drawn into anything recently. He hasn't played a supporter for quite a while, so he's probably kind of stuck. Let's see what he's going to do here. He's going to take a long time. Sorry, I probably should have cut this out. But he's going to think about what he wants to do. Maybe he just concedes. I'm looking at the video length and there's not that much longer to go. So I'm thinking maybe okay, there we go. He does play a switch. Sends Vulpix up. I don't know what he's doing. I don't understand that play at all. Why waste the switch to switch one fodder to another? Like, does he value Rattata that much that he wants to preserve it? So he tries to burn me. Thankfully, this time he finally flips the tails. I think that's the first time he's flipped tails the whole match. And that means that Kyurem is not burned, and that this next Glaciate is going to hurt like a mother. So yeah, oh, look at that. Not only did I have 2 Buizel prized, I also had 2 Floatzel prized. That was ridiculous. I forgot how crazy my prizes were this time. So yeah, that happened. But luckily I was able to set up in spite of it, get a Glaciate. There's my second Buizel and a Rescue Energy. So that was an amazing prize pool. And now he's only got that single Typhlosion and a Reshiram left, and he's not looking good. He can Blue Flare this turn, but without a plus power, it is not going to kill me. And I'm just going to rain on his parade next turn and do some major damage. So I think, yeah, he just concedes here. That's going to be the match. This does show pretty well how the deck's supposed to work. And it is a fun deck if you're not getting screwed over by luck. I like all the Pokemon in it, so I might play it some more, but I'm going to give it a break for now just because it makes me sad. So I hope you guys like the match. I will have more this week. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and stay tuned. More coming your way shortly. Thanks.